as pedigree over the past few months of play. Let's go through our maps, actually. There are already 7 maps in total. We have 6 down, and we'll be down with 1 more.
Oh.
Wow, actually, we're going to play Consulate in this one. Ooh. And Dev actually just typed this, so full credit to Dev Marta, by the way. Ooh. FYI, map veto is identical to the last time these teams played against one another in stage 1. Exact map bans. Pretty big, but is Consulate the right decision, Jess?
Yes. Now, this is just statistical, yes.
For who? That's the question.
Yes.
Who are you asking that in the context of?
Let me give you the why first. If you look at QConfirm's history, when they last played Giants, they obviously lost on Consulate, but when they versed CAG, they also lost on it. And then you look over to Giants' side, and the 2 times they've played it, they've won it. Obviously against Cloud9 and obviously against QConfirm. So the history looks good here for Giants, but you know, Dez is sort of wearing me down week after week. He says, don't always rely on the statistics, Jess. And I think to myself, okay, I'm trying not to, but it looks good. It looks better for Giants.
You know what else looks even great about this? And I love calling stats when there's something really interesting in there. The last time these 2 teams played, guess who the top 2 rated players were? By a country mile.
Stop it.
Healthcare and Hysterics. Healthcare was 1.06, the next player in 0.74. Hysterics was 2.05. He went 16-4 in that game. He literally dragged his team over the finish line. We're going back to the same map. It's different lineups, of course. But I'm now wondering, are we really going to see another 2.0 plus rating performance from Hysterics? The numbers from last week suggest no, but Healthcare is looking better. Do we actually see Healthcare succeed Hysterics in this game? That's going to be incredible to see.
Guys, let's take a look at a few popular predictions for this one. You can all go and vote on our next match on @R6 Esports APAC. You'll see it down below.
Oh, yikers.
Oh, good lord. I mean, look, understandable.
8% brothers, I appreciate you.
Okay, you know what? Let's bring up everybody on the board here. Our match is almost ready, so let's have a quick chat between us before we dive into our casters. Here it is. Gio, you didn't tell me that you had the cutest caster with you.
Well, you know, I didn't want to brag.
Here we are, Dez. QConfirm, you taught it all about him here, but I want to hear it from Baird. Baird, good boy. What? Oh, where'd he go?
Oh, God.
He transformed back into a human form.
I love that you said it the perfect moment that someone could clip you saying good boy with a Dev on the screen.
There we go, chat room. Have your fun. James, why Giants from your POV and not the crazy QConfirm as Des is saying?
Hey.
Look, QConfirm have got a shot in this, but everything from current form to the map veto, Giants coming off a win over C9, who is like one of the only teams to really challenge them in the last few months. I think they're in a really good form. QConfirm's going to have to really surprise not only us, but also Giants, I think, to get a look in, particularly because of that 7-2 that Giants had over QConfirm last time we played Consulate.
Gio, final thoughts?
I'm feeling pretty confident in Giants, especially after the win against Cloud9. As Jess quite rightly put, you can't really base it on just a best of 1, but they look strong.
All right, Gio, James, go have fun, enjoy your game of Consulate. As you were saying, James, a repeat of what we had before in every single way. Well, this is going to be a close one, even with our player changes. All yours, enjoy.
Thank you, Milosh. James, I'm super stoked for this one. This is the Battle of Southeast Asia, and these 2 teams, they certainly have a history.
Very much so. Jess highlighted it in the intro. Longtime rivals from Southeast Asian Pro League, dating way back to the origins of Pro League. QConfirm made a name for themselves in that region, but really failed to meet expectations in Stage 1. Now they have a chance to prove themselves, but it's none other than their old rivals of Giants.
Yeah, Sunny, that's going to be the case. Obviously, it's worth remembering that it was actually QConfirm who won Pro League Season 11 in Southeast Asia, and they beat Giants twice, including on this map. And obviously, that's a bit further back than the Stage 1 game on Consulate that we saw, but we know that this is a map that these 2 very familiar with one another on, and this is just the next piece of that puzzle.
So we'll definitely be referencing a lot the previous game that these guys played on Consulate, but I also want to reference some of the comments that I saw from Luna Metal captain of Giants on Twitter recently after that Talon game where they won 7-4. He actually went out on Twitter and he said, "See you guys on Thursday. I can already tell this season will be much harder than the last." That is word for word from, the horse's mouth. Luna reckons this season's going to be challenging, and they actually dropped out of first place in Stage 1 last season, thanks to some strong performances from teams like Xavier and Cloud9. Now, can Giants hold on to their crown, or is QConfirm coming for it?
That's the big question, and it's certainly a very valid thing to say that it's going to be harder this stage. And I think a lot of that comes to the fact that last stage, so many of these teams came from their individual sub-regions into this main region and had to figure each other out. And now they have that level of understanding. And just to bring it into what we're seeing now with the operator bans, I find it very interesting that even though the map bans were identical to the last time these two teams play one another, the operator bans are something very different.
Yeah, looking at the previous time, Giants actually got rid of the IQ and the Valkyrie. We're seeing both of those ops let through. In fact, we're also seeing Thatcher and Echo let through, which were the operators that QConfirm banned last time. Really quite a significant change here. So we're seeing Thatcher and all the hard breaches sans Maverick available. If you recall, Maverick was the main from Hysterics last time around. Remember, he got that insane, I think it was like a pistol 3K near the end of the round, dropping one of the hatches. So he's going to have to pivot off. I do wonder whether that is maybe part of the thought process into the operator ban from QC. It's clearly a comfort pick for Hysterics, but he's got the IQ now. So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of options here for Giants. A bit less information gathering, but with that pulse ban, you still have Valkyrie in, and they feel a very similar position. Info gathers with C4s. We're seeing Luna bring that out straight away. And it's funny that the IQ was actually 6 picked off. It's going to be more challenging for QConfirm to find those Valkyrie cameras.
Yeah, instead they're going to be opting to go for the Ying. So quite an interesting choice here. Now, for those who don't remember, and I was included in that, I had to just look it up right now. When these two teams came to this map back in Stage 1, Giants did also start on the defense, and they tried to throw a spanner in the works by starting things off on Tella's archives. And it didn't really work out in their favor. QConfirm took that round. It was one of 2 rounds in the entire series that they did take. But they were going for something safer by heading into lobby and... I was going to say lobby and press, which is the proper name for it, but no one calls it press.
Piano. It's piano all the way on account of that giant piano. The thing that does intrigue me here is the Dockerby ban from Giants. I know teams like Southeast Asia teams have had an inkling for Dockerby in the past, but if you look all the way back, I have a lot of operator vetoes here from Giants. The last time they banned Dockerby was against Team Liquid in the 6 Invitational group stage on Coastline. There is almost nothing similar about that game to this game, like completely different opponent, completely different playstyle, completely different map. So I don't know how much to read into that. And when you look at the previous time QConfirm played on this map against Giants, Consulate, that time in Stage 1, they didn't have any operators any players rather, that mained Dockerby. So maybe there's something if we could see exactly every operator that was picked every single round, or if I'd had enough time to go through every VOD, maybe I would understand this operator ban of Dockerby from Giants, but I'm intrigued, and I don't see a clear reason why at this stage.
I suppose the effectiveness of that ban will come to light eventually, as it will become very clear if maybe it was the wrong decision and they should have gone for something else instead. As we mentioned, very different bans to what happened before. Now, I like this roam here from Luna. It's something that Giants certainly like to do. He does miss with the C4, and like Colas does narrowly get away with his life. And now QConfirm are very aware that that player is down there.
Luna's actually going for a flank. Jordan as well. This is well timed between the two players, but Luna is caught off. Down to 1 HP. Jordan trying to support, rounding the corner, but does he know Luna's there as well? Indeed. QConfirm find 2 quick kills and establish themselves a man advantage, with still 1.5 minutes remaining.
Man advantage, as you say. Giants are on the back foot. Hysterics playing a lot more of the slightly off-site anchor position. It's a term we've used before. He's not really going on a wide roam, but he does know that those players are there. He will drop down onto site as we get to the last minute of gameplay here. Now, the Candela getting ready. That's going to be going in as Speakeasy goes down. So far, it's looking like a very good round for QConfirm as they'll get work on the diffuser. Supported by the Candelas and the shots coming in from Hajime. But Hysterix is coming around. He gets a kill from himself, but immediately traded out.
Good start here for QConfirm, leaving Ysera on his lonesome upstairs. He wasn't able to deny through the floor. In fact, the only two players left really struggled at that plant denial. And now this is a nigh impossible position. Ysera walks straight into that crossfire and is polished off. QConfirm, once again, here on Consular against Giants, start things strongly with one round on their side.
Definitely good, and obviously, as we are counting the tally of Hysterix versus Healthcare, Healthcare wins that one so far. Had a good
Are we going to
round.
keep that rivalry up? I like that.
I like the rivalry because I think it spans back and there's plenty of value to it. The fact that they've gone consistently back and forth in terms of who's the top of the region, who's doing the best, who's always top of the team, who's getting spoken about the most. It must almost irk Healthcare that Hysterix has had so much attention for stage 1 being at the very, very top when it was Healthcare who was really showing up back in Pro League. You know, he was there with a 1.28 rating and a plus 50 KD. Everyone has been completely lauding Hysterix in stage 1. Healthcare's sitting there with stats like that.
Yeah, no, it's a valid point. Healthcare is a fantastic player in his own right. I have started to get some inklings of theories to do with this Dokkaebi ban. It reminds me of conversations we used to have with old mate Zeronic back last stage and how Dokkaebi can be used to force defenders off their cameras, in particular when Echo's on the board, Maestro, Valkyrie, all these really camera-centric operators that can be impactful, especially for Plantanol. If you have that Dokkaebi, a logic bomb goes out and it forces those defenders off their cams and really suppresses the amount of information that the defenders can gather during an execute. Now, of course, it wasn't impactful just then. For whatever reason, the evil eyes from Ysera were not on the plant spot, so maybe they got denied, what have you. But yeah, I guess we'll keep an eye on when these executes come around. How impactful is the camera play from Giants? But since I've still got the mic and I'm going to keep you just sitting there enjoying the view for a minute, Gio, I want to talk about the operator lineup from QConfirm. We've got Finka with secondary hard breach, and this brings so much versatility to this operator lineup, especially as Finka is already a comfort pick for QConfirm. What's more, that was 6th pick from the Ying, so Giants are probably still a bit cautious of that.
Hajime does open up with the kill. He's gone on to the IQ, something that QConfirm did 6th pick off of on the last round. So there's no Valkyrie that they have to worry about, but it still should help with their efforts, at least somewhat. There's the ping 2.0 coming out just so that they're aware of the positioning of these defenders who are gradually moving up the spiral stairs to contest rather aggressively.
This aggro play for Giants ain't working out. I think Hysterix doesn't realize, but he was definitely spotted on that drone. He hears the telltale sounds of that LMG from Finka ring out in the distance like Hollis. This is great drone work for him. Drone's that yellow soda, but Melusi eventually spots the drone. Hysterix knows not to peek it and take it out because he'll be exposed to outside. And the boost comes through from Finka. What's the idea here for QConfirm? They're trying to pinch from the top floor, yellow stairs. Eventually, Hysterix does take out that drone, but he sits in piano. This is a very unusual and loose roam from Giants.
He finds himself, I think, in a position where it's quite hard to move in one direction or the other because he knows that the enemy are very much aware of where he is. And obviously, should they push up the yellow stairs or should they be nearby, he feels confident he can take those gunfights, but he has to be very aware. And there's some of that incoming fire immediately coming in. He takes some damage. Oh my god! Okay, Lycola's looking the total wrong way and gets caught out, and that means the diffuser is sat there on the staircase. Healthcare, he picks it up, sends in one of the lifelines, but certainly not without a loss.
Thank goodness Lycolis had already opened up the garage walls with his Selmas. Otherwise, that would be a huge blow here to QConfirm. But despite that, I feel like Hysterix got away with something he really shouldn't have. Well, I guess he didn't get away. He was traded eventually, but he was a dead man. The fact that he managed to pull one away with him, that's huge. It's also Lycolis, who's been a great performer for QConfirm. Their support hard carry in stage 1, but time's ticking away. QConfirm need to get this execute to work.
20 seconds remaining. There are the pings, and the attempted vertical support gets shut down. Speakeasy securing himself that kill, but he's going to make it a second one. QConfirm have to move in. Only Producer Boom remaining, and he's out of the adrenal surges, so he can't help himself there. He has to hunt out Ysera, but time's looking like it's going to run out. That's exactly what happens, and Giants take round 2.
We'll say QConfirm had quite a good attack there. Just little things here and there. They allowed Giants to get away with some things they shouldn't have. Very early on in the round, QConfirm were hyper cautious of aggression from Giants, jumping out windows, peeking windows, etc. And that was how Hajime was able to find Jordan so early. In fact, the second round in a row, Jordan's been that opening pick. And then from there, we saw still Hysterics roaming around, hanging out in Piano, trying to hold on. He attempted a flank up yellow, and he was nearly punished multiple times. QConfirm were hyper aware of that roam, and yet still he was allowed to take down Lycolis, the ace, on yellow stairs. A little bit of an oversight, I think. I don't know whether that was a communication error, and Lycolis thought that his Yoda, that's the yellow soda machine position, was covered by one of his teammates, or whether he just kind of forgot about that roamer there. But I think the fact that Malusi was able to waste so much time, find that kill before traded, and then Speakeasy had that position to get a really aggressive on-site, find one through the floor, and then one onto the planter before getting traded out. That was really impactful. Just narrowed things back and forth that made Giants keep their head above the water enough to get that round win.
Yeah, it was a certainly strange situation with Hysterics, especially as he took quite a bit of gunfire just before that engagement happened. So it leads you to believe that maybe they thought he was scared off, and that Lycolis could take the opportunity to shoot in towards the garage. That's the way he was facing. Regardless of what happened, obviously he didn't win out in that situation, and Giants ultimately took the round. Now this time, as they go upstairs for their next defense, we're seeing Luna on the Clash. Now Giants are a team that we know have good shield play.
Yeah, definitely seen it a lot before from players like Ysera and Luna Metal himself. Look at this aggression from Giants. What?
What?
Okay, that is a magical black eye. Valkyrie is now a wizard. And she managed to get that to stick on. Hysteric's going to chuck it down another window. I'm actually surprised we're seeing this much aggression from Giants. It's not completely uncharacteristic, but it is a bit more than I would usually expect, especially as it's been punished in the previous 2 rounds in a row. And Hajime, you can see he's hyper aware of that aggression. He's the IQ. He sees that Valkyrie camera outside, and he can probably finish that off without too much trouble as well. My question is, what's QConfirm's main execute, main push going to look like? Because you mentioned the Clash, and that will make it very difficult for QConfirm to push up a lot of these narrow pathways that they would typically expect. At the moment, the Clash is sitting in meeting, and that means she's positioned well to counter this push from admin.
There's a loss onto Hajime as well, which automatically means they QConfirm and now at a disadvantage. You really want to be looking to someone like Healthcare to deal with this Clash, and Luna moving forward very close to the Sophia there. Just droning in to be sure, as he's probably going to have to expend those lifelines to at least try to deal with this enemy.
Lycolis' utility could be so pivotal here, but he's not actually positioned in such a way to use it in the way I would expect. What I think would be great is if Ace could use his utility on the meeting walls. It would completely nullify the position in the northeast corner. He's actually going to maybe throw it from this side. I'm guessing that's why he burned the ADS, but be a bit easier to shoot from this side. See, if that wall between Dark and Lycolis was open, that would completely nullify that position, but instead they're just going to try and address the Clash instead with the Zephyr, and both of the remaining Selmas are destroyed, one by the impact and one by a magnet, so that completely removes that chance from QConfirm.
Really disappointing there, and he's going to be taking damage as well as he tries to shoot into the connector window, but won't be finding anybody. He's just got to check out these angles. He knows that Healthcare is nearby and could provide some of that support, but there's the smoke. Jordan, meanwhile, has been down. He's injured, but he does get raised up, and Ysera, he's going to be getting a shot in for himself, traded out. QConfirm still very much on the back foot and struggling to deal with this Clash.
Producer Boom in a playmaker position. 15 seconds remaining, but he's got to walk into these crossfires. That's a great shot onto Jordan, finishes off what was left of him. But Speakeasy holds things down. Lycolis has been injured. He was so low HP the whole time. And Luna whips out the SMG only to get Hysterics to seal the deal. And Giants That looked like a much more solid defense.
A messy attempt at the attack there from QConfirm, really just failed to get a grasp onto Lunar Metal, who effortlessly held on to Meeting. You didn't have the Zephyr in front, you had to try and burn a lot of that utility, it wasn't enough, the Selmas got swallowed up, you couldn't get the Meeting wall open. Suddenly, all of the angles that are being held by Giants, including having the Valkyrie downstairs, makes it very, very hard, and your options are incredibly limited. That's something QConfirm are likely going to fear going forward, knowing very much that the shields aren't banned out, but it doesn't look like Giants are going to be repeating that attempt as they move into Archives and Tellers.
Yeah, they're not the only ones. I'm actually going back through my archives at the moment to try and see if I have my spreadsheet that I made for the last time these guys played each other on this map, just because it might be able to give us some extra insight on what they did per bomb site. No, I don't think I was on that game, so I don't think I have that one, sadly. QConfirm v Giants, I do have it. Aha! Alright, we're going deep into the archives here, and I'm praying that I actually took notes. I did! I literally have my round-by-round notes. Isn't this beautiful? Aww. So the last time the Giants defended Teller's Archives, the last time they played this bomb site, I actually defended it twice. First time was a failure, as you mentioned, but the second time was successful. And once the images load in my spreadsheet, I can tell you what kind of operator lineup they ran. They had a pulse, which has been banned by QConfirm, so I wonder if maybe that's part of the idea from QConfirm. The banning the pulse makes it much more difficult for Giants to defend that bomb site. But the Oryx is something we've actually seen before. It wasn't in the game that these guys played against each other, but it was another one. I specifically remember Giants using this Castle Oryx combo. You can jump up this hatch right where Hysterics just ran past and see underneath the castle barricade. I really like the Oryx pick here. It's very creative, very ingenuitive from Giants.
I'm actually really intrigued to know if the air jabs that will be placed by Producer Boom are going to affect the attempts of, late roams and flanks that the Oryx can do. Because obviously a lot of the reason that you play him is that later on in the round, after the attacking team have felt confident that they've cleared out every defender that they need to in order to take a site, he can jump straight back up, put a spanner in all of those works. And obviously with a vertical site like this, where you have one down below and one up above, very, very useful operator. So I really wonder if that's going to have an effect on him.
Healthcare's an admin. Now moved up to copy. Dark is nearby to support. And ooh, that's actually spots out the feet. Speakeasy was upstairs and he gets spotted as well. Dark should be able to hold him off and prevent Speakeasy from flanking, but the Singaporean doesn't need to push up just yet. He knows that time is on his side. He doesn't need to make an aggro play, but late round, he'll become a hindrance if QConfirm don't hunt him down. He actually drops all the way down. Good timing as well, as the spray came out from Hajime on the yellow skylight.
He's actually just going to hold on to that angle for a short while, knowing full well that there's an attacker up there, but Hajime won't be hanging around. Instead of heading over to the east side of the map to join in with everybody else's fun. Now there's just about 1 minute remaining. Healthcare is actually going to get Ysira as the first kill. Ysira struggling somewhat as he's been caught up in a lot of these engagements, but with Speakeasy turning things around, Producer Boom takes a lot of damage there. That's a shame for him, as he didn't get the kill, and instead it's going to be Hajime. Backwards and forwards here as they do try to take the site, but no one's placing the diffuser, as Lycolis is still holding it in his hands. They've got to watch out for this Oryx. He was the last one to get a kill.
Pretty sure Speakeasy realizes he got the injure here, but Lycolis is going for the revive. 20 seconds to go. Speakeasy actually goes for the run out. He's basically a dead man, but there's no chance that QConfirm can go get to that diffuser in time. They're actually going to ignore Speakeasy. This is very strange, but it's a desperate attempt regardless. Hysterics upstairs. He was the Oryx that his team needed, and he's the last one remaining. Wait a second, is the plan actually going down? Surely this would be denied. Big round from Hysterics and closes it out with a 360 knife. Jumping up hatches, he's everywhere. And that is how you play Oryx.
Yeah, it took virtually no effort for Hysterics at the end there to be able to come in and get that knife kill. You know, obviously they were super pushed for time at the end. Like Hollis went in for the plant. I'm actually amazed that he had the time to attempt it, but it was a gamble to go and pick up Producer Boom, who did then get a kill. Nice, good for him. But obviously at the end of the day, it was Giants who were able to take the round.
I admit I was casting that 100% as if it was over already. You could probably tell. You know, I didn't want to hype it up when I didn't think it was possible. I was very surprised, though, that it actually got into a position where it was a 1v1 and like Collis could potentially stick the plant. But, you know, that's the round. And I think Giants, particularly on that flank from Hysterics, that was really pivotal. Speakeasy also did a good job around Antichamber. Delayed time upstairs, dropped down, and presence around Antichamber in the late round. But now Giants are actually going to rotate back to lobby. What's funny here is Giants have taken us in 4 rounds to all 4 bomb sites on the map, and of those 4, lobby and garage are now open, and they're going to lobby, which is the one that they failed. Like, this isn't a scrim, guys. You don't have to practice to like fix your mistakes. You can just pick your strongest bomb site. I think that goes to show how confident Giants are, that they are equally confident on every single bomb site.
The way that you'll know if this is scripted is if QConfirm take this site, because QConfirm, last time they came here, took the 1st and the 5th rounds. Well, we're on round number 5. So if they do it, I'm gonna get a little bit suspicious. It could be scripted, but they've changed things up. They've got a fuse now. Switched out the candelas.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the fuse pick is anticipating a garage defense. I will admit, the fuse was not picked at all last time these guys played each other. We actually did see a Dockerby in run round, funnily enough. So maybe that's why Giants banned it. But I think the fuse is going to be kind of a null factor here on this lobby defense. Assuming you could get top floor control, there's still not that many useful places you could use those fuse charges. You could put them on this CEO floor, and that'll clear piano, but I don't think that's hugely impactful regardless. And he doesn't even have smokes because he's elected to bring that secondary hard breach. So Producer Boom's just going to have to frag out.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. He hasn't done a bad job. He's actually still outside watching onto some windows. But
I don't blame him the way Giants are playing.
yeah, I mean, we did see Hysterics. He was present on one of the windows already in CEO, just waiting for some prey outside. But Dark's already in, one of the newest members of QConfirm, taking the entry role very seriously by literally being the first to enter. And so far not dead. You see that happen to a lot of Ashes these days. It's a very sad story. But he's going to be joining in, helping out his team so they can push on forward.
Yeah, love those holes in the floor from Healthcare. That denies a flank all the way up from the bottom red stairs, which we saw teased out early on from Luna. QConfirm going for this admin side take, but meeting is only step 1. You need to deny anyone playing a meeting if you want to plant lobby, but Jordan downstairs, he actually for the first time gets an opening pick. He was the victim 2 rounds in a row, and he's playing in the exact same position, but this time there was no pinch from QConfirm. He's allowed to find one, and he can continue taking these 1v1 50-50 fights.
Now, this is interesting because Jordan's obviously hidden in Tellus. He's going to throw out the C4, which won't catch anybody out, and so instead coming around to potentially peek. But Dark is very much aware of his position. And what I was going to say is the fact he was positioned there could have made it a lot harder for QConfirm to recollect the diffuser once it had been dropped by Lycolis on his death. But there were 2 players in there, so at that point, Giants decided it was too much of a risk, but with just about half a minute remaining, QConfirm don't have much time to hang around. There's a player from Giants coming up towards the top of Spiral that they're going to have to be aware of, and then they've just got to brute force their way through everybody else if they're to make it into the site.
Just 15 seconds left. Time is slipping away. QConfirm numbers disadvantage. They have all the ground they need, but Giants have the bodies to throw at them. They do exactly that. Producer Boom climbing up from the dungeon, but he's about to get slapped right back down. That's exactly what Luna does. The 90-degree flick and the trade to come through. Giants fix their mistakes, and they have just won every single bomb site on Consulate on this map.
And you know what's even sadder? The fuse charges were still in pocket. Well,
that's the thing with fuse. Like, if there's no good spots to use them, then you're better off not even trying to, because you're just going to make yourself super exposed. Like I was saying, the only real place you could try and use it is on the floor in CEO or Con upstairs, which would then go down into Antechamber or Piano. But QConfirm never actually got that far. They never had full top floor control. Yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? Typically, you don't even bother trying to push CEO because can be really hard to clear that out. You just clear out meeting, and then you're like, okay, well, we should be able to deny the vertical angles so we can plant lobby as long as we cover the antechamber and the bottom spiral angles. But yeah, Jordan found that opening pick, and not only was that the smokes on Lycolis, the only smokes QConfirm had because the fuse brought secondary hard breach, but it meant that their QConfirm in a numbers disadvantage, and like I said, Giants just had the numbers, so they can play passive until time is low, and then QConfirm have to commit a player to planting. Giants are effectively in a 5v3. Because one guy's planting, one guy's dead, they just overwhelm.
Now, obviously, Giants have opted to come back up to CEO for their final defense, and that means that the clash is being brought along as well. Now, the question is, have QConfirm anticipated this? The fact that they've chosen the Ying makes me think that potentially, yes, they can obviously use the Candelas to stun out the clash. And I think one of the big problems that they had in the last round that they came and attacked this site was they didn't really have that multi-dimensional approach. Yes, they tried to open up the wall behind the clash, but what happened? The Selmas got eaten up by the magnets and by the ADS, which meant ultimately they didn't have that option. I think having those Candelas could provide them with the opportunity to get some of that dimensionality that they really lacked last time.
I really think the thing missing from QConfirm's previous attack onto this bomb site was opening up that meeting wall. If Ace was actually playing in copy, if you just switched where Lycolis and Dark were, then maybe that would have helped out. Dark actually does find one kill. It's Jordan down. Not a lot of utility to be missed as Jaegers is already down static. But I'll just finish my point here for a second because Lycolis, he could have played in copy and opened up the meeting walls. That's exactly where Easy is showing us on the camera right now. But guess what? Giants have changed things up. They're bringing a mute instead of the smoke, and they've chucked the mute jammer directly on that wall. So even though QConfirm didn't make the adaptations themselves, Giants have already prepared a counter. They are literally 2 steps ahead.
Lost there for QConfirm as Producer Boom is the first to go down on their side. And as you quite rightly mentioned, James, they're going to have to deal with the mute jammer if they want to get this wall open. There's obviously also a lot of utility being eaten up, and you can hear the first Candelas being sent through. But have they had the intended effect is the important question. There's the next one, but it sounds like it got eaten up. Doesn't matter, they forced the clash back, and that's the important part. But Hajime is gonna get stunned out as Dark runs straight in and gets killed for his efforts. Lycolis is the next one behind, but the angles are still being held by Ysira all the way here at front desk. You can see if anyone moves into meeting, and that's the problem that QConfirm are going to have to face.
You can tell Giants did their geometry revision because they have all the angles right now. You can tell Hysterics has been doing track because he just went for a good old run and then some shot put to make things even easier. QConfirm are being manhandled right now, but there's a slap in the face for Luna. Healthcare is the only one left, and he's about to get shut down 1 versus 3 this time, but there's not much else on his side.
If anyone's going to be able to do it, it's certainly Healthcare. He knows that someone's present in the bathroom, but doesn't necessarily know if there's the rotation. There was. He got the kill, but he couldn't survive it out. Giants take 5 rounds in a row on their defense, and they give QConfirm a very tall order as the side switch.
I just cannot get over Hysterics that round. He literally ran so far out the lobby door and yeeted that C4 straight onto the meeting balcony. Yeah. Left, right, good night, Producer Boom. That was quite a thing to witness. And I'd preface that Giants are 2 steps ahead of QConfirm the whole time. They had already anticipated QConfirm using Ace to breach open the meeting walls before QConfirm had even set up to do it or demonstrate that they were going to do it. So a really nice adaptation from Giants to change things up between rounds, countering things that their opponent hasn't necessarily even thought of yet and haven't implemented into their strategies. A 5-1 half looks damn good for Giants.
Well, I think one of the really concerning things here for QConfirm is when these 2 teams came here last time, QConfirm couldn't take a single defensive round. And now they're on the defense. They don't have very many rounds. They have 1. Unless they've made massive changes and massive improvements to the way they run their defense, I would be scared if I were them. And there's that beautiful C4. Oh, straight onto Hajime.
Unbelievable,
Goodbye.
that one.
Good night.
Very, very nice.
Sleep well.
Yep. Don't think he will, honestly. I really don't think they're going to be sleeping too well this night.
No.
You're talking about QConfirm defense. I've actually got the operator lineup that they ran. They only tried this one time. It was their first defense that they went to in the second half, and they lost it. And then they just tried console on the top floor twice, and they lost that. But for their basement, they actually decided to go for a pretty roam-centric hold. They had 2 players roaming, one of which was the Vigil. It was actually like Colas at the time. Now he's gone on to a much more passive role as the Smoke. Actually, never mind that. He's playing an aggro Smoke. He's actually got the FMG9 instead of the shotgun. So he can play as aggro as he likes, and he's even got a 1.5 times scope on that. So he's going to re-roam up here. And while the operator lineup looks quite different to the last time they played, the roam is definitely still present.
Like, will this be
Impact
wild in? Impact. Well, they still got quite a bit open. And you can
That's
hear
nice.
the
That's
rest
actually
of...
quite significant, though. Because
You
now...
can still hear the Selma going, oh, okay. Continue.
I was just going to say, that's... I can't quite see exactly which parts of the breach got open. I know the far left side from outside got open, yes. So the only way Giants can actually walk in is if they go on the far left. That is one of the most exposed positions, because you're exposed to basically everywhere except for like basically everywhere. You're exposed to like all the different positions, even pipes, and you typically want to plant in front of the white van. So you'd have to really get a bit of a leg in there before you can force that diffuser down. Typically you want the right side open. So nice impact trick, but it might not matter.
We're certainly not going to have the opportunity to do it again. Producer Boom's going to be joining Healthcare in the grave. Speakeasy been doing work. And in goes one of the toxic bait canisters, as Lycolis has indeed returned to the site, hiding behind the reverse shield. It's going to act as somewhat of a deterrent, but obviously Giants have to be aware that there are these players upstairs too.
How much util is still remaining on the site for QConfirm? That's what I want to know. Ooh, Hajime's actually been seen. Jordan's going to swing him from Yoda. Surely that's his end. Indeed. And now it's just one player left from QConfirm. It's the newbie. It's Dark. And guess what? They're still droning him out. There's a player outside watching his rotation. That is flawless. Not just in name, but in the way Giants did it. What a round.
Oh, it's funny how you start rounds thinking that it's a shame that they couldn't get the right part of the garage wall open, and you think, wow, this is really sad. This could maybe not go their way. Oh, what fools we were. Mm-hmm. They're actually going to try again. Is this bravery or masochism or both?
Bit of column A, bit of column B.
Yeah. Having
a look at the op lineup for now. As of yet, nothing has changed from the QConfirm side. Still running the same stuff. Oh, we actually have Hysterics. He's been promoted to the Ash from the Nomad. Oh, never mind. He's six picking back up to the Nomad. He's just trying to scare him, get in their heads, you know? But I think that the Nomad's a good point, good pick. QConfirm getting a bit desperate. They're relying on those roamers. They had, I believe, 3 of them in that last round. The Yankers really got a bit antsy on the bomb side, got picked off. Healthcare and Producer Boom with the 2-1s playing aggro near the breach. As soon as that breach was open and there was presence yellow stairs, they were picked off, and it was just the roamers to try and commit. They were all taken down. Now, I will say, that impact trick does give me some hope here for QConfirm, because if Luna just throws all 3 of his Selmas on each of this, like each panel of this wall, and they get impact trick, like I'm pretty sure we got 4 impact tricks total, 2 on Producer Boom, 2 on Healthcare. So if they play close and they impact trick all of those 3, then those are only lines of sight to be used for the breach. So I think Luna should use them one at a time, so that if it gets impact trick, he still has enough to try and open up a hole and fix what wasn't open enough.
Good advice. I'll pass it on. I mean, they probably won't need it. Like, judging by how well they've been playing so far.
Yeah, I'm sure that they could probably win this
worried
if they didn't get the garage open. I've no doubts Giants could still win this, especially with, like, they're just clearly in the heads of QConfirm. And Giants, like, this is the best we've seen them in a long time, which is fantastic to see. And that opening pick ain't gonna hurt.
Oh, that was an ouch. That really was an ouch, and Dark, who was the last player remaining on QConfirm last time, is going to be the first one down this time. That's a Roma they don't need to worry about. Not that they were concerned in the last round, but they obviously knew that QConfirm were playing somewhat off-site. Now, he is actually going for these three sellers all at the same time, just like before. But Producer Boom taken down straight through the hole it left.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely
that was
brutal.
good job from Speakeasy on the rappel. Hysterix helps out. They do not have an entryway through this garage, but that doesn't stop them from just killing everyone on QConfirm. 1 minute 40. There is so much time left, and even though Giants don't have an opening, they have an angle, and that's all that they need. This is match point 1v5 for Healthcare. We know he's good, but surely he's not good enough.
No, we're not past the watershed yet. You can't show things like that. That was an absolute slaughter. We sold this whole idea of this long-standing rivalry, QConfirm being the team who beat out Giants in Pro League Season 11. The fact that the two best players from these teams have constantly flipped backwards and forwards, and they get 7-1'd?
Well, Luna said this was going to be a more difficult stage than their place finish last
really,
time,
Luna,
and I think
pretty
that
hard.
yeah, I mean that is probably the best we've seen Giants in a long time. They are way back in form. They are looking flawless so far this stage, and they absolutely manhandled QConfirm even more so than they did last time. Really great performance, and they're just terrifying, absolutely terrifying.
That was absolutely brutal. Remember how Gig, their head coach, was kind of feeling after the mini-major happened and they didn't beat Cloud9, but I suspect he's watching this game and thinking, it's all coming to plan. Analyst, let's throw it over to you and hear what you have to say after this very short game.
Emergency meeting.